adventurers, and welcome to the Carnival Mardi Gras. Let me show you all this ship has to offer. So here we are on deck 16. Here at the back, we're starting at the aft of the ship. This is in the middle of the day, so it's very, very busy. So we have the tides pool area. It is like an infinity pool kind of situation. It is nice, but it gets very crowded throughout the day. So you have the pool and the two hot tubs. This has been where we have majority stayed back here. And that's where I would stay. I highly recommend that. This is probably where a lot of people could hang out, and it's a little bit quieter, and you're right here next to food, so I definitely really like the Tides Pool. Again, this is where we spent the most time here on this ship. And then right over here, we of course have the Tides Bar if you want to get a drink, and then right over here to the right, you have your ice cream station. So we have both ice cream and frozen yogurt. They do change out the flavors somewhat, but most of the time it's vanilla and chocolate. Same thing right here, vanilla and chocolate. The only bad thing about this area is that you don't really have a whole lot of shade besides the chairs and tables for eating. So that is one kind of bad thing about this area. And it doesn't have a lot of wind. I do like that they don't have the regular fences, but the glass does make it where there's not a lot of wind. Then you have right here, Big Chicken. This is the Shack restaurant that has chicken. So it's been a nice little area back here. They do have chicken biscuits in the morning, which I definitely would recommend trying that. Probably the best, my favorite breakfast on the ship has been the chicken biscuit. And then you have some condiments here. And then you also have a drink station where you have your lemonade. Now on the ship, remember, you will have lemonade, you will also have iced tea and water complimentary, and then you can buy a soda package if you'd like that. There's no soda right here. You get it at the bar, or you can go inside to the Lido restaurant. So as we go through here, we do have these doors that sometimes you have to touch, but now we go into the Lido Marketplace, which is the traditional buffet location. Now we have a bunch of different options. It is air conditioned, which is nice. But in here you have a lot of different sections. It's the same on both sides. So they'll have different ones, but they're exactly the same food majority of the time. So here will be your buffet area. You have two areas of buffet. And then over here you have your coffee station, another lemonade station, and your soft drink station. So if you wanted to purchase the soft drink package or the coffee package, here's where you scan that and then get your coffee or your soft drink. And through this area, we've got shawarma here. We have got our gelato station, which is specialty kind of ice cream that is included. You have sea dogs, you have your hot dogs, brisket dogs, not brisket, has your hot dogs and your sausages and stuff like that. Then over here you will have your salad station as well as your dessert station, and sometimes they'll have kind of a sandwich type of area. And on the other side you also have some more of your drink stations as well, and you also have a beer on tap. So if you bought the drink package and you wanted to get your beer, you could scan it here and get beer here at lunch on tap. And this will be the same at all of the stations throughout the Lido Marketplace. That takes up about it takes up about a 30% of deck 16. We have eaten here pretty much every breakfast. The kids got cereal a lot. The eggs were not very good. In general, I gotta tell you about the whole entire cruise. Food, probably 2 out of 5. Not my favorite, nothing to really to write home about, but it's fine. What does Carnival do though the best is they have variety of food and ability of food. If you want food at any time of the day, Carnival can get you that, as well as any kind of food that you want. So yeah, Carnival definitely has variety down pat. But we are starting to do the thing where people are starting to have paid for dining experiences, so that's why I think the food is not as good as it maybe used to be. Okay, here we're going into the main pool area. Very loud. Of course you have a bar. This is where a lot of your pool games go, and they have very loud music playing. So in the main pool area, you got your main pool, and you have one hot tub.
Through the sky, hold on tight, never let go.
And then you have the Blue Iguana taco bar. So it's great for tacos and burritos and all that kind of stuff. And then you have your, especially like streetcar things. These are great. I've ate these almost every day. Highly, highly recommend. You have the Seafood Shack, that it does cost extra, so I've not ate there. You have the French fry location and the bao bun. Bao bun by far my favorite. Then you have like the Thai food place. Then you have another drink station. And that is it on level 16. The rest of these would be staterooms. Level 17 in the forward is also just staterooms. Now headed up to floor 18. We're on floor 18 at the front of the ship, and we have the Serenity adult only area. So we have different towels here, which is nice. See, we're on 18. They have different padded chairs. We have not spent any time up here, but we do have our kids with us like all the time, so we wouldn't necessarily be over here. It's 18 and up only, so that is where we are. Here is the adult only section. There's a lot more shade over here, I've noticed. Really cool chairs over here. Again, a lot more shade. Oh, you have like padded seating here in the middle. That's really cool. Of course, you have a bar and a drink station for some water. A pool that is very, very full. At least they have a clock here. Sometimes you don't have a clock, and it's really nice to have it whenever you have a clock so you can keep up with what time everything is at. So again, we're at the front of the ship. A little bit more breeze here than we had at the back. Very beautiful view, of course. Lots and lots of seating in the sun and in the shade, actually. Very, very quiet here.
In the darkest night, no stars in sight. Hope is the light, a guiding star. Through the storms and through the rain, hope will rise and ease the pain. When the world feels cold, a frozen heart.
They do have a hot tub on both sides of Serenity, right after you get out of the stairwell. So our pool's in the middle, and their hot tubs are here on the sides, one on each side. On floor 19, I do not have this entry, but it's loft 19, and they have cabanas available. They're open from 8 to 8, but wristband required for entry. You can kind of see up there, just more seating area at loft 19, more private again. Now we're headed back towards the center of the ship. It's very, very loud, so do.
Through the clouds, through the sky, hold on tight, never let go. Hope will rise and overflow. Hope will rise, lift us high. Through the clouds, through the sky, hold on tight.
Okay, here on level 17, you do have a bar right below the video screen and some more seating. Again, this is on level 17. So here on level 17, on this side of the ship, you do have the guys' burger bar. And you have some more drink stations and ice cream and frozen yogurt stations. But here's the guys' burger joint. Get you some burgers. Obviously, very, very popular. And then right here, I did look in the first day into Club 02. I cannot go in that now, but this is the teen club. This is the 15 to 17-year-old teen club. And on the other side is Circle C. Level 17, if we go across to the other side of the ship, we're on like to the second third of it on this side. Come over across this way. We have Circle C, which is the preteen club for ages 12 to 14. That's kind of what that looks like in there. Very oceany look. We didn't get a chance to look in that, but that is what that is in there. Then you have the Warehouse Arcade. Remember, this would be at a special cost for that. They do have a half they have what's called a power hour for half off if you'd like to do an arcade. It's a pretty big arcade, let me show you. Oh, excuse me. They even have a virtual reality like roller coaster and a shooting game. Yeah, pretty cool. So I've literally not walked on this side at all, but this is the deck on deck 17 on the outside of Circle C. Like I said, we mostly spent on the back side of the ship, more so, because that just seems to be more where we want to be, and it's quieter. Here's actually some shade. And again, this is headed back towards the back. The only problem here is it is quite loud with the roller coaster above us. So if you're looking for super quiet, deck 17 underneath this roller coaster has shade, but is very loud.
Once again, angels be on the Magyar, celebrating the victory of Jesus, who died and rose again. Jesus is not in the grave, he's alive forever.
So now back here, again on deck 17, you have some really cool chairs. They do not cost any extra. They're very popular. We have not chosen to sit in these because they're not really laid-back chairs, and they're still kind of in the sun the majority of the time. This is here at the back on 17, overlooking the back pool. Now we're headed up to 18 on the back of the ship now. So now we're here on deck 18 at the back of the ship. This is the fun recreation area here on the Carnival Mardi Gras. So you do have like a mini golf course. I think it's like 9-hole. We did have fun doing that. It's great. The banks are kind of not high enough, so you kind of go off of the putting green a little bit, but it is still fun. Then you have your walking track if that's your vibe. And then here we spend a lot of time, so this is your waterworks. So you have your splash pad mixed in with your 3 slides. So we have 3 slides here. So we have the yellow twisty slide. It is by far the fastest slide, and a little bit rough, but super fun. Then we have the orange slide, which is probably the most popular one. It's a drop floor. If you've never done a drop floor, this is the one to do. It is the smallest one, and it is pretty fun. I've done it. And then we also did the blue one, which is the mat slide. So you have to lay on your stomach and go. So that's probably the funnest one for sure. Inside there, you also have your water bucket drop from your splash pad area. Here's where you get on the bolt. This does cost an extra amount. It's $15 per person. You must be totally dry, and you must pay $15 per person, but you must be totally dry, and you have to make a reservation for it. So I would not wait till the last day, and apparently if it's too windy, they will shut down the services of it. So I would recommend doing this before the last day. And it is, you do not have any way to make it go faster or not. It is the speed it is, but you do get 2 rounds for that $15. I definitely recommend doing it at least once. And I have a 7-year-old, and she really enjoyed it, so I recommend it pretty much for everybody in the family if they are tall enough, because you can ride 2 people at a time, and so that was super fun. You have a few chairs over here as well that are like a little bit shaded area, but you're so far away from the pool. I just don't feel like this is a good spot. So I get way too hot. I need to be at the pool. Okay, over here you see the ropes course, which we're going to do again. We have already done. It was great, except for the fact that like other kids are not very nice, and they kind of ran me off the platform. But right here is a special area where you can actually go on a plank and go over the water. That's really cool. It got a little bit too crowded up there, so I did not do that part, but I did the rest of the ropes course, and I'm going to do a little bit later. Again, so fun. It did take a while as far as the line to get done with it. It took me about 45 minutes to wait through the line, so on a sea day, it's going to be very, very busy, so be prepared for that. And of course you have your basketball court. We do not usually play basketball in here just because it has actually been very popular on this cruise to have your basketball court. So that's kind of fun. Then you have some foosball tables here, cornhole, and actually pool outside, which is very, very unique. So if you swing around this way, you do see the back to the main pool area. Kind of see down there, see the massive amount of people that's there. show you the other side of the ropes course here. They are actually doing the zip line today. So the first sea day we had that we did the ropes course, they were not doing the zip line because it was too windy. Looks like they are doing it today, so check that out. So I need to go tell my group that we need to go do that. They're gonna do it because that's over the ocean where you're doing that. So cool. But yeah, but you gotta have, now for this, you do have to have closed-toed shoes. Just like the roller coaster, you do have to have closed-toed shoes, and you do have to be dry. So keep that in mind when you're doing this. And if you're at the pool, you do need to get dry and wear your tennis shoes to participate in that. Okay, and that's deck 18 here on the back. Again, we have a few more of these chairs. So now we're gonna actually head down below decks to the common areas for during kind of the non-day part, in my opinion. But there is one deck that you would be kind of surprised is a day area. So let me show you that. This is the other side of the splash pad area, because you have some little slides for our littler travelers, and then you have this cool little waterworks area that my kids have loved playing with. They can turn the water on and move it around. Very cool, very interactive. And you have some chairs for the adults to sit. I kind of wish they had more chairs up here, but there's not really enough room, so this is kind of fun. Again, the only kind of negative there is that instead of, like, you can't be at the pool and let them go over to the waterworks and just say come on down, because you got 2 floors to go down. So that's the only negative with the waterworks. You kind of have to go up here, stay up there for a while. Okay, let's head down below deck. Doors are some of the craziest things on this ship. You can't always get out. It's kind of crazy. All right, welcome to deck 8, which is another surprisingly daytime location. You don't normally have it this low. So on deck 8 we have what's called Summer Landing, and so we have a nice pool here. And there is some more shaded areas, so if you're looking for more of a shaded experience, then deck 8 may be for you here. You also have, of course, 2 more hot tubs on this side. Now, what's weird about these hot tubs, they are reclined, which could be nice if they weren't always super packed. I say that and there's literally no one in this one, but usually they're kind of super packed, and that makes it kind of uncomfortable. Now, there is a deck all the way around the ship, and there are loungers are pretty much around the entire ship on deck 8. Also, there is a section that I did go through earlier, so make sure you check one of my vlogs. Make sure you check out one of my vlogs. I will link it down below, where I went and toured the Havana area, which has its own deck area, and that is on deck 8. So there will be a section that is a Havana only that has its own pool as well. Okay, now if we go inside, again, this is on deck 8, we have another area to eat. So on deck 8, you have the Pig and Anchor. This is your barbecue place. There is an indoor eating area as well as outdoor. So your indoor area has lots of room to eat, lots of room to find somewhere in the cool air conditioner. You do have some live music in the evenings. You have an indoor area that's sometimes open, but most of the time it's the outdoor area that is open. Excuse me, sorry. Okay. Barbecue. Very, very busy on sea days especially. They do brewery tours as well here. That is something really you might be really interested in. It costs $30 a person though, but you do get a beer tasting. I did not do that because of $30 a piece. You do have a drink station as well, including a soft drink station. You do have a bar that is not as crowded. This is also kind of working as your sports bar, so they do show games here, including the March Madness NCAA tournament, which is great. So they have kind of like a picnic table atmosphere. It gets a little bit crowded in here because there's only the one screen, but it works out. And then we also have another ice cream and frozen yogurt station. Again, today it's vanilla and chocolate. Looks like across the ship. Next we have what's called so they're calling that the Heroes Tribute Lounge. Then we have your portside liquor store. This place you can purchase any kind of alcohol you may want, as well as a few other things. They actually sell Dramamine. They actually sell it in this store, which is kind of interesting. Next up, we would have our lobby guest services area. It's here on deck 8. And it's actually not crowded at all, considering it's the last sea day and there's hardly anybody up here. That's good news. If you need to check that out, then probably the last sea day is your way to check out anything you need to check out. Next we have a Carnival Adventure, so if you're wanting to book a shore excursion or something like that, this will be your place to go. But you could also do that on your Carnival Hub app. Also, you have your ATM here on deck 8. Next we have another place to eat here called Sea Grill. It is a signature dining in a sense, as in it costs extra to eat here. So of course we did not partake in that, but it does give you some options here about what you could eat here. Next we have a place that is an included dining location, and this is where you get paninis, and they actually have some options up there. I got the chicken one, it was great. They did run out of pesto, so that did happen. So, but the paninis is pretty good, but only ate there once. You do have your drink station over here, but now the soft drink location is not here, so you had to go back out to the Pig and Anchor to get that. You do have an outdoor seating location as well for here, because this is of course the pizza place. Everyone has to know where the pizza place is on a Carnival ship, and here it is. It is on deck 8 right next to the Panini. Always has a line. Actually not too bad today. But then you have lots of seating area for your pizza. So, and the pizza was really good as per usual for Carnival. Now, as we go along deck 8, you have more seating, again for the pizza place. Then you have another bar called Bardella Rose, very nice. And a little seating area, kind of like your Italian section, is kind of what they're kind of themed as here. You then have a restaurant that they do have on some of the other Carnival ships as well, called Cecilia El Capitana, and you get one free lunch here if you'd like. We did try that on the Carnival Breeze. It was okay, but nothing to write home about. So that is your Italian restaurant. On deck 8 here, and this is your Pixels photo gallery. So I just did that and I purchased our pictures. I highly recommend that you favorite, like heart the pictures you want in your Carnival Hub app, because your Carnival Hub apps are going to find out where all the activities are and stuff like that. So highly recommend looking into the Carnival Hub app and looking at all your activities. Tells you everything there, tells you what time the restaurant's open, all that stuff. You can also see all your pictures. So heart them before you want to come down here, and then you just come down here and you can pay for them. You can also pay for them as well on the Hub app as well, but I liked it here. It took like 4 minutes, so this is where you can come down and purchase them, but make sure you purchase them before 5 o'clock if you want to make sure you get your pictures that you are printing that day, or you may have to wait till the next day, which is your debarkation day. Highly recommend don't doing that. Here where you can do a few specialty photo shoots if you're wanting to do that. Some more Pixels video here, and here's showing you some of the like products you could purchase as well. Got some lanyards here. You can also buy underwater cameras if you'd like. That would be a place to buy it at Pixels. More Pixels and more of a studio. They usually have professional photography sessions right here, as well as all your professional photos can be taken usually on 6, 7, and 8. That's where they kind of go. Now here is a unique area. Again, this is on deck 8. There's a unique area that this Carnival ship has, is it has like 2 theaters. We have what's called Grand Central, and this is our first theater. And instead of having one big theater, they kind of have 2 smaller theaters, and this one's like open. So they've done a lot of the ones that do have some aerial work and stuff would be here. So I have noticed, so you have seating on 6, 7, and 8, but there's not a whole lot of seating for any of the shows. So if you decide you want to go see any of the shows, make sure you do go when doors open if you want to get a seat, especially if you have more than 2 people. So, and people can get vicious over saving seats. So just let you know. Literally last night I kind of got into it lately about saving seats. So yeah, definitely recommend coming to see some of these shows. As far as the shows go, the best one that I saw, again, make sure you watch my vlogs to check them out. But the best one probably is the Broadway show, Broadway Beats. But none of them are spectacular that we have seen, besides the Love and Marriage show, which is like a game show. So, but unfortunately, Carnival's not really known for that. Royal Caribbean does a better job of that. But again, if you do like kind of a bigger type show, this is one location where you could kind of see that. And we have seen a show every night, so we do go see the shows in general. As you can see, there's not very much space up here to sit. Okay, so still on deck 8, we have some shopping, of course. So we have Effie, which is a nice jewelry store. They do run a couple specials here. Again, if you're looking to do some duty-free shopping, there's plenty of options for that. Another place for you to eat, another location here is on deck 8, is Bonsai Sushi. Of course, I love sushi, but this is a special dining as in you have to pay for it. So I have not partaken in that at all, so that is another option. This is just more seating for the Bonsai Sushi. Okay, here's more seating for the theater. As you can see, not a whole lot of seating on deck 8 for your theater. This is a really cool spot to take some pictures at as well,
Good
though.
afternoon, everybody. How are we doing? Everybody doing good?
More photos are usually here as well. We have another area if you want to take some professional photos, like they could actually like customize it to whatever you want. Here we are on deck 8 as well. We have the Havana bar. This does go out to the outside portion of the Havana section that I talked about in another one of my vlogs, so make sure you check that out. This is the interior of the Havana bar. This is actually where they do karaoke. Again, there's a live band here, but they do karaoke pretty much every night. And out there is the outdoor section of the Havana bar that you have to be a guest that is staying in the Havana section to do that. So if you're looking for a really unique and a really like luxurious, I guess, addition to your stay, that could be the Havana section. Again, just check out my vlog of the Havana section where I went and got to see my friends where they were staying. It is super cool Cuban vibe. Again, this is where your karaoke is typically happening. Again, these are crazy doors. You have to like wave to open them, wave to lock it. It's kind of crazy. Try to read the directions on it. Next we have one more location here on deck 8 to eat. It's called Shebang. It's a Chinese Mexican cuisine. We're gonna try to eat here tonight. You do get one free dinner here, but it does get kind of like busy, so you do have to do a first come first serve, and then like you can maybe do a reservation. So that is your possibility to eat there. We're gonna check that out tonight, so check out my vlog to see how it went and see how it goes. Okay, so that is deck 8. We're on deck 7. So we have the Mardi Gras Theater. Now this is one of 2 theaters that they have. I wonder if I can get in. I don't know if I can get in or not. No, I can't get in. But I have been in there for sure, so make sure you check out my other vlogs. I will link them down below. And you can check out the theater, and that's where, again, most of your bigger stage shows have been, and it's a more enclosed, traditional theater. So that's where that would be. But not as many seats, so again, the seating goes quick. Okay, also on deck 7, you've got the casino. Pretty large casino on deck 7. You do have tables as well as slots if you're looking for. They do have digital dealers there. I believe at night they do have regular dealers as well. We have not spent time in here because we don't typically gamble. But it takes up both kind of sides of the ship. They're on deck 7 and then takes you right into Grand Central. Crazy doors. Okay, now we're back on deck 7. So again, we're looking right into the Grand Central stage. So if you don't necessarily sit down to watch the shows, you can kind of walk by and see them. So again, here's your view from deck 7 for the Grand Central Theater. They're doing bingo right now. We do have a bar here called the Grand View Bar.
That's why when I go on vacation here, believe it or not, I'm going on a freaking cruise. Yeah, oh, 1, 4, back to back.
So that's more of the casino here.
She's one of the Colba, so the shows that you see, she does that right on that show. Yes?
What brand of polish do you use?
What brand of polish do I use on my head? None. I shine bright like a diamond naturally.
That's our cruise director, Rainier. So again, we've had lots of pictures right here next to this couch. They actually scooted over. That's kind of interesting. That's kind of a cool picture too, right there with the waviness. So now we have the Carnival Insider, which is where you can get any kind of insight if you're looking into another cruise. So definitely check them out. Then we have some more shops. This would be the fun shops where you could actually do some shopping. Very small amount of the Carnival store, I would say, because we come into this one a lot, but we haven't done the other one, which is kind of interesting. It's the Carnival Fun Shops. They do, since it's a very small store, they actually switch out their merchandise like all the time. Then we have our daily deals here. But yeah, they switch out the merchandise all the time, which is crazy. And I've noticed they don't really have much of an art gallery. They just kind of have a few little sections here and there that have kind of art kind of stacked up in a sense. So that's something to look at there. Here we have an entrance to the Limelight Lounge. and the other entrance is around the way. So now the Limelight Lounge is a place where they've had comedy. We have seen comedy in there. They've done some game shows, so lots of things. So Alchemy Bar here, they take forever if you're wanting to get a drink from the Alchemy Bar. But here's the entrance that we've mostly seen for Limelight Lounge, and again, people line up at least 20-30 minutes beforehand to get a chance to come in and see. So we have comedy, we have game shows, and again, in one of these like kind of centralized areas where they have a lot of kind of activities. Again, not a whole lot of seating, so again, that's why you kind of, for a ship this size of what is it like, someone could look this up, I think it's like 6,000 people. So for a ship this size, you definitely want to kind of get there early for your shows. Now on 7 you can look down onto 6 quite easily, so that's kind of a nice view. This little area does get a little bit congested with this Alchemy Bar and people waiting for dinner, so just keep that in mind. If you're like, what's going on here? It's just they kind of get congested here, kind of the bottleneck feel. There's a nice little seating area if you kind of wanted to get away from it all during the day, at least. Next we have a bar here. And then we have a nice staircase for pictures. I love this one for sure. This is called a Fahrenheit Steakhouse, and again, that's the bar. Kind of see in there. It again is a specialty dining restaurant that costs extra, so we have not participated in that. And right here is Park West, which again kind of more of like a specialty store that has art, and they kind of like head up the art auctions, stuff like that. Now they do the art auctions in some of the like Limelight Lounge and stuff like that, so you'll see them in there as well as in the piano bar. Also on deck 7, so we're still on deck 7 here, we have the Mardi Gras restaurant, which is the main dining location here. Is the Mardi Gras restaurant, the Mardi Gras Palm restaurant. There's 2, I believe, main dining rooms here, so this is the one that we have had, the Mardi Gras Palm restaurant. So definitely check out my vlog to see the inside of there. It's been fine. It's been the traditional restaurant, and I think we're going to skip that tonight, do the Chibang, but we go to dinner every single night, so definitely recommend. As far as food goes, always get the creme brulee. I literally had 2 of them last night. Always get the Carnival melting chocolate cake. We were deck 6 forward. So this is the other floor of the Mardi Gras Palm restaurant. There are 2 floors of that, so we actually came in on this floor every night, but this is the deck 6 of that. Right here we have a really cool new feature of Carnival, which is called the Carnival Kitchen, fun with cooking. So here's where you can actually pay for cooking demonstrations, and somebody's doing that right now. You pay for cooking demonstration and you get to cook something. So it'd be a really cool thing if you want to do that with as a couple or as a friend, and get like try to do some nice cooking and see what they're making. Very, very cool aspect. Again, a great picture location in the Hall of Mirrors here. Next dining location. Now this is on deck 6. It's called the French Quarter area. This is Emerald's Bistro, $13.96. This is a specially ticketed place where you could order different types of bistro type foods, but again, it does cost extra to do this. Nice little eating area here. At your regular dining though, there are Emerald's Selects every single night, so if you really want to try an Emerald's thing, you can just do that at the main dining location that is included in your cruise ship fare. Next here on deck 6, we do have the Fortune Teller Bar and Lounge, which you could say bar and lounge. So again, kind of like a New Orleans theme. It's kind of what's going on here on deck 6. And so nice little bar here, and what they do here typically is live music. So you're going to have usually like a guitarist. They kind of set up right here, and you'll have some guitarist, or we've had the Strings of Destiny. That's someone I would definitely recommend you see, is the 3 violin players. They're, well, the 2 violin and the cello, and they don't typically play here. They play at a different lounge, but I definitely would recommend seeing them. This is still part of the Fortune Teller Lounge, so you can sit and listen to your guitar player. Over here is the other main dining location, which is called the Flamingo Restaurant, where you could be assigned. This is one that is included with your Carnival stay, but again, you get this one or Mardi Gras. You don't get both. The Mardi Gras Palm. So you get the Palm or the Flamingo. We got the Palm. But this is the Flamingo restaurant. Again, we couldn't necessarily eat at here, but this is where the rest of the people will eat. You will either have the 5:30 dinner time or the 8 o'clock dinner time. We choose the earlier one. Over here to the left is called the Brass Magnolia Lounge. What's really cool about this is it actually has like trumpets and trombones as the light fixtures. It's super neat. Here's where, again, you got a lot of live music. Got a bar and lounge here, so got a lot of live music. And the Strings of Destiny typically play here, and that's the 2 violinists and the cello. They are so talented, so I would highly recommend coming and watching at least one of their sets as they play through on the violins. Like, they are just so talented, so highly recommend that. Here we have another store on deck 6. We have the Invicta, which is where you could purchase watches. So just for wayfinding, we were just right there at Fortune Teller, went over to the other side. So again, another great picture location. So over here we got some nice stores. So we've got hip fish accessories. Hip fish? Yeah, accessories. So those are some 2 stores on either side there. And then here we go into the Grand Central Stage on deck 6, which is the majority of the seating for this first theater. They're right now doing a Q&A with the cruise director, and that's what he's doing at the current moment. That's why you got so many people over this direction. Okay, here's where they're purchasing the bingo cards. That's going to happen after the Q&A. Right here again for wayfinding is the Brass Magnolia Lounge, and then we have another ATM, and they're having an event to purchase watches here. Some nice little seating here. Now next we have the candy store. Again, this is at a separate ticketed thing if you wanted to purchase some candy. It's called Cherry on Top. So that is also, I believe, where you pick up your wine package, which is interesting. Next we have the coffee shop. This again costs extra to the coffee shop, and I believe the things in the pastry container are included, I believe, but it's always had a big line for coffee, so we do not typically do this because I do like coffee, but not enough to pay for it when I can do other things. So this is the Java Blue coffee shop, and you do have a water station, but no lemonade here, just coffee. So what's kind of crazy, they do have coffee right here that's included, or you can pay for specialty coffee over there. So you do you know. Okay, so we're still on deck 6 here. Another little seating area here. Right around the corner, something we have not done yet because it has been so crowded, and it's not really our vibe anyway, but maybe it's the piano bar. So this has been super crowded, so definitely something I believe that people are really enjoying here on this cruise. I wonder if I can get in. Whoa. Oh, so this is beautiful. This is the piano bar and lounge. Very cool. And this is actually where they had the art auction earlier. People line up for at least 30 minutes before his set. And he did have one day off during the cruise. So there was one day there was like literally nothing going on there. This is a great photo op if you hadn't done that. Next is the other place you can go to comedy. So they have 2 areas for comedy. This one's called the Punchliner Comedy Club. Tonight is Percy Cruz. I do really like him. We got people in there currently right now. They're doing the art auction in there today. So again, art auction kind of goes here, there, everywhere. But I have been in there, so make sure you check out my vlog. Oh, I can kind of see what it looks like more here. But yeah, very cool. I kind of love it. I kind of thought about going to the art auction, even though I'm not going to buy anything. And this just takes you back to the Grand Central Stage right there. So we've definitely been in the comedy club quite a bit. So if you choose the 18+ category, it does get quite explicit, so do be aware of that. I do prefer the PG comedy, especially because you can take your family in it, and it just kind of keeps it cleaner. So there are PG options. So on your Carnival Hub app, if you'll just scroll down to the bottom, you'll be able to see what is the rating of the show. So definitely keep that in mind if you're bringing your kids or anything to it. Okay, and then on deck 6 here, again, we're still here on deck 6. Here we are into the Cloud 9 spa, which is kind of interesting. Why is it not on 9? It's on 6 instead. So this is the fitness center on deck 6. I did check out and do a spa tour on my first day here. So if you want to see what the spa looks like, then definitely check that out on my vlog that I will link down below. Definitely check that out. Now it's different here in the fact that you do have windows to see outside, but it's not as like kind of front and center as it has been on other ships. But they do have all the kind of stuff you want if you're wanting to do any kind of workout here. You have a pretty good amount of exercise equipment, the amount of machines, so all your stuff if you're looking to work out. That would not be me right now because instead we're doing the restaurant tour rather than like that. And on the other side of the hallway, you've got the Cloud9 Spa, and that's where, again, if you want to see what the spa looks like, definitely check that out. I kind of wish I'd done the relaxation situation, that you could pay a special ticket for that, so I would maybe look about doing that. It's very similar to the Rainforest Rim of Disney cruises, if you have ever done that before. Okay, as far as for the rest of the ship, as far as the gangway, you'll get off on deck 6 whenever you are leaving the ship, as far as on embarkation and debarkation, but then whenever you're getting off for port days, you will go down to deck 3. So that's something to keep in mind. Other than that, the only thing left is on deck 4. Everything left is deck 4, which is your Camp Ocean, which I did do that as well on that first day, so definitely check out that video if you'd like to see what the Camp Ocean kids area looks like, because I would not be able to go in there today. That is the tour of the Carnival Mardi Gras, and if you have any other questions, please don't hesitate to comment down below. I'll be glad to answer anything I can for you, and I have lots of other videos if you'd like to check those out. So make sure you hit like and subscribe and some videos. So God bless, good adventures. See you next time. Bye from the Carnival Mardi Gras.